Good evening. Now, the reason why I brought you all here this evening, taking you away from your hard studies and your homework and your tests that you have to take, is because I want to shed some light on a little topic that flies under the radar, but is very important, and that is respect given towards teachers. Not a lot of it. Now, the reason why this speech is relevant to all of you is because we all are college students. We all know what it takes to succeed, or we wouldn't be here. Now, the respect given towards teachers and educators starts here in this room right now, and that's what I'm going to get to later. For me, personally, the reason why I'm qualified to even talk to you guys about this in the first place is because of two people. First person being Melania Kelp, my girlfriend. I've been with her for over 4 years, and I've witnessed firsthand what it takes to be dedicated, all the time and energy she puts into succeeding at her major. And another person is a good friend of mine who I've known for a couple of years now. She's been a teacher for 10 years. She's been through everything. She's dealt with pesky parents. She's dealt with board members who want to underpay her. She's done the whole 9 yards. Now I'm going to talk about some of the strict undergrad requirements that Cal U requires each education student to do. And I'm going to talk about some common misconceptions that a lot of you may have about teachers. Now before I dive into anything, I want to add a little disclaimer. I don't want to slant any major that's out there. I know every major has its own difficulties. I just want to bring to light that the education department is extremely difficult and it requires a lot of time and energy. Now, the first strict requirement that is required of all education majors is to maintain a 3.0 GPA. The final semester of the 4-year term for each education major, they're required to student teach. If they don't have that 3.0 GPA, they will be denied the opportunity to student teach, and they will need to come back for another semester, take classes to boost their GPA. And the second requirement that is required is the state standardized testing. Now it consists of 2 tests, the PAPAs and the PECs. The PAPAs being your basic SAT format, the reading, the writing, and the math. And the PECs being 3 separate tests all in one, consisting of professionalism, families, social studies, health, and child development. Now for the PEC, you can take them all at once, but they take about 5 hours to complete. Now they recommend you break it up into separate different occasions that you take the test, because 5 hours is a lot of testing to take all at once. And the third, but certainly not the least important requirement, is field observations and student teaching. Now for the field observations, it requires the student to complete roughly 8 to 10 weeks of field observations, which basically is the student traveling on their own time to a school, observing a teacher, and reporting back to the professor, and getting graded on what they can report back. And the student teaching is probably the biggest aspect of the 4-year major. The students are required to work a full week, 40-hour week, in their final semester. That is 8 to 4, and they plan a curriculum, they grade tests, they deal with pesky parents, the whole 9 yards that a teacher normally does, but they don't get paid for it. They just get graded on. Now, the state standardized tests and the field observations and the student teaching all require the student to have transportation to those events. Now, that can be their own car. If they don't have their own car, they have to pair up with someone who does have their car, or a family member who can transport them there. And we all know what it takes to operate that car.